the Prince estate has launched a new site for fans to showcase what Prince means to them. Read more. A 30 minutes daytime call to an 1890 number from a Vodafone or 3 Mobile would cost €9 to €13.50, according to Money Guide Ireland. Read more. Government is failing to get to grips with the need for new transparency measures on social media in order to protect the democratic process, warns Fianna Fáil spokesperson on technology, James Lawless TD. Read more. The Repeal the Eighth movement has been strengthened by the news that the Irish Congress of Trade Unions is now vocally supporting the campaign. Read more. In Taoiseach Leo Varadkar and Minister for Health Simon Harris will both address a pro-choice rally in Temple Bar this weekend. Read more. At 11 a.m. this morning, the funeral mass for the late Big Tom McBride will be celebrated in St. Patrick's Church, Orem, Castleblaney, Co-Monaghan. Read more. The Irish icon will make his acting debut as a guest star in an episode of TG4's Roast Run next month. Read more. Stone Broken, who will release their second studio album, Ain't Always Easy, on the 15th of May, are coming over to play Dublin and Belfast in June. Read more. Spanning from Lebanon to Scotland, Sweden to Jordan and Spain to Poland, Netflix's upcoming local stories will encompass multiple forms of entertainment, TV shows, movies, unscripted, documentaries, independent films, stand-up comedies and kids' titles. In multiple genres. Read more. Carrie Elwes has been cast as a guest performer in the role of Mayor Kleina, and Jake Busey joins as Bruce. Read more. The Girls Are Back in Town. Season 2 of Glow returns on the 29th of June. Bring your leg warmers. Read more. The popular English TV star and DJ has died at the relatively young age of 62-year-old. Read more. It was the best 99 pence our man ever spent. Read more. A decade after her debut album, Little Dreamer, went straight to the top 10, the talented singer and songwriter returns to the spotlight with her new album, Go to Freya. Read more. Custom House Square will be the happiest place in Northern Ireland on June 1st. Read more. Ed Sheeran and Kendrick Lamar both lead the way with a staggering 15 nominations each this year. Read more. Legendary frontman Joe Lynn Turner has been forced to cancel his European tour after suffering a heart attack. Read more. For singer-songwriter Laura Mulcahy, storytelling is to fore of all her artistic endeavors. Read more. Seemingly indestructible, Big Tom continues to rule supreme when all around him is in a state of chassis. Hot press interviews the man they call the King. Read more. There's been a huge outpouring of affection for Big Tom following the news that Ireland's king of country music has passed away peacefully at home aged 81. Read more. The Irish country music legend, described this morning as the greatest by Daniel O'Donnell, has died at the age of 81. Read more. Boris House is ready and waiting for July 6. Read more. As part of an upcoming lawsuit, Stella Stolper has filed court documents in the U.S. claiming that the superstar stood naked in front of her, sexually harassed her and also conducted other inappropriate acts in her presence. Read more. Popular comedian actor Harry Anderson has sadly died at only 65 years of age. Read more. Telling me to educate myself and calling me names does not quieten me, says the former Olympian as she's subjected to online abuse from anti-choicers. Read more. Labour Party spokesperson on disability, Kathleen Lynch has welcomed Inclusion Ireland joining the Together for Yes civil society group to repeal the Eighth Amendment. Read more. Brothers Sean and Connor, who made a big splash when they appeared on the X Factor TV show, will also release their new single on the 27th of April, it's just been confirmed. Read more. The two rock and roll behemoths are joining forces in October. Read more. Best Before Death was 5 arduous but fun years in the making. Read more. Since news of his death broke during the weekend, the likes of Jim Carrey, Danny DeVito, Mia Farrow, Larry Flint and Ron Howard have all taken to Twitter to pay tribute to the Oscar-winning film director. Read more. The possibility of a hard Brexit remains a very real threat, says Fianna Fáil spokesperson on Brexit, Lisa Chambers TD, who has voiced her concerns that Irish businesses are not prepared for such a scenario. Read more. To celebrate Record Day, The Alarm's Mike Peters will stop off in Dublin during a mental 24 hours transatlantic tour. Read more. Minister for Education Richard Bruton is being urged to publicly rule out student loan schemes. Read more. The 74-year-old U.S. actor, who will probably be best remembered for starring as the profane drill sergeant in Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, died on Sunday. Read more. The superstar says that the weight has lifted off her shoulders since she recently decided to go public about her personal battle with mental health. Read more. It's taking place on May 2nd in Dublin's Olympia Theatre. Read more. The Welsh comedic actor, best known for his role as Barney Lumsden in W1A, has died at the relatively young age of only 35 years old. Read more. Netflix's original dramatic and modern reimagining of the classic 1960s science fiction classic series hits the streaming service today. Read more. Monty Python fans will be delighted to hear that a number of their TV shows and films will be added to Netflix on Sunday. Here's a roundup of what's new on the popular streaming service. Read more. The English-raised Irish musician, who trained as a nurse before going into music, has just released the first track from her debut folk trad album. Read more. The 165-foot-tall engineering wonder is heading to the desert. Read more. The Overtones band member from Cork has sadly died at the relatively young age of 36 years old. Read more. Ahead of their upcoming gig at the RDS in Dublin on the 24th of June, the prolific group has just dropped their latest single. Read more. Peter Buck and Joseph Arthur have just shared the first track from their exciting joint project. Read more. An hypnotic journey into the musical mind of Beckett by master interpreters, Ger St. Lazare Ireland will be performed at the Pavilion Theatre on 27th and the 28th of April. Read more. The minister's remarks about the possibility of Fine Gael one day going into coalition with Sinn Féin in our exclusive interview have been described as inappropriate by a spokesperson for the Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar. Read more. The new Hot Press, which is out today, April 12th, features Irish folk roots duo Hudson Taylor on the cover. Read more. The government should consider giving local authorities the power to allow 16 and 17-year-olds to pre-register on the Register of Electors to encourage younger people to be politically active. Read more. The legendary singer has been forced to cancel 2 gigs scheduled for this week as she is confined to bed. Read more. The National Library of Ireland has welcomed the government investment in its Kildare Street complex, which was announced yesterday as part of the Culture and Creativity Investment Plan. Read more. Political think tank The Collins Institute has called for an online course in personal finance to equip citizens to make better financial decisions. Read more. Donald Trump accused the rapper of having a failing career during a Twitter spat last year. But Snoop Dogg has now escalated their tit-for-tat fight by saying that he imagines Lucifer would look like the U.S. president. Read more. And Hot Press was at the heart of it. While politicians from across the spectrum of British and Irish politics were pulled hither and thither all night in Stormont, trying to find agreement for an historic peace accord, musicians, rock and rollers and music lovers were pulling a harmonious all-nighter in the Europa Hotel for the Hot Press Music Awards. Read more. The Facebook CEO will testify before the U.S. Senate and Congress this week about the company's data privacy scandal. Read more. Dublin's Slow Skies, aka Karen Sheridan, has just announced that her debut album Realign will be coming out on the 11th of May and she will be playing Fumely Stables on the 17th of May. Read more. Here's the official video for John Legend's new single, A Good Night, which features Blood Pop. Read more. A new EU regulation now ensures that people from Ireland are from this month onwards allowed access their online subscriptions such as Netflix, Spotify and Sky Sports wherever they are traveling in the EU. Read more. Disney is looking to reboot High Fidelity with a female lead. But the star of the original movie reckons they'll fuck it up. Read more. Lindsey Buckingham has been reportedly fired by the band. Read more. The first ever performance of the opening track on the Songs of Experience album was a musical highlight at what was a funeral to remember. Read more. There was a huge turnout of the great and the good this morning at the funeral service of Dave Kavanagh, the man who created the Celtic woman concept. Read more. Our four-legged friends are the newest binge potner for his Irish, according to a new study from Netflix. Read more. Cardi B has become the first female artist to achieve a gold-certified album on the day of its release. Read more. While she hasn't gone into any specific details about what type of harassment she endured, the 32-year-old star has made it clear that she plans to take legal action over it. Read more. The efforts being introduced by Facebook to fight the spread of political misinformation and fake news should be broadly welcomed but extended across other social media platforms and outlets, according to Fianna Fáil's technology spokesperson, James Lawless TD. Read more. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds has just released the music video for his new single, She Taught Me How to Fly, the third to be taken from the #1 album, Who Built the Moon? Read more. Liffey Records and Celtic Collections have issued a statement following the death of the music impresario, Dave Kavanagh, who began his career as a booking agent for U2, Thin Lizzy, the Boomtown Rats and more. Read more. It is with great sadness that we learn today of the death of Dave Kavanagh, one of the pivotal figures in the Irish music industry over the past 40-plus years. Read more. Revival returns to the Square in August and, boy, is it going to rock. Read more. Jay-Z is the latest guest on My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, which is available on the streaming service from today. Read more. Pan Pan Theatre Group takes a stage play on a national tour. The Oscar Wilde-inspired comedy, The Importance of Nothing, hits the road from 9 to 28 April. Read more. A wonderful, youthful energy will be found backstage at the National Concert Hall on Wednesday, the 11th of April. Choirs will arrive by the busload, and orchestras will be tuning up their instruments. Solo performers will be looking for a quiet space to practice, while an organist will even bravely clamber into the seat of the beautiful organ that sits above the stage for his afternoon rehearsal. Read more. Part Irish, part Palestinian, the Galway girl Roisin El Sharif has just released the first song from her upcoming EP. Read more. Labour Senator Ivana Bocik has said the new British wage transparency reporting law has shown an important light on the existence of a substantial gender pay gap there, and that it is time for similar legal provisions to be introduced in Ireland. Read more. The Dubliner has turned himself into New York police after he was captured on video attacking a bus carrying UFC fighters. Read more. It's shaping up to be a monster 3 days of spoken word and performance. Read more. The 11 tracker is out on May 11th. Read more. Steven Spielberg says that he's toying with the idea of giving the iconic role to a female star. Read more. Gary Lightbody has revealed that he's been through the wars when it comes to battling depression and alcoholism. Read more. The failure of Leo's government to deliver high-speed, quality broadband to communities in rural Ireland has been highlighted again. Read more. Cargo is the new film from the producer of The Babadook, which will air on Netflix next month. Read more. The number of people involved in the Facebook data breach has escalated to 87 million, according to a statement issued by the company today. Read more. Jesse John Heffernan talks about the legacy of Martin Luther King, who was shot dead on this day 50 years ago. Read more. Irish singer-songwriter Eleanor McAvoy talks about how she came to recognize the legacy of Martin Luther King, who was shot dead on this day 50 years ago. Read more. This fascinating chart-topping curio has been tracked down as part of Concern's 50th anniversary celebrations. Read more. The Derry City musician has just released her new single, Moved On, which is now available on iTunes and Spotify. Read more. A 39-year-old Iranian woman, who is being described as an animal rights protester, shot 3 employees in cold blood at YouTube's Californian offices last night. Read more. An existing law surrounding sexual offense trials should be amended to allow rape complainants access to their own legal representation. Read more. And Taoiseach Leo Varadkar has handpicked Minister Joseph O'Madigan as campaign coordinator for Fine Gael in favour of a yes vote in the upcoming 8th Amendment referendum. Read more. Empathy in G minor is the first new music in a decade from former Headgear man Dara Dukes. Read more. As we count down to Record Store Day, Irish musicians and other 12-inch obsessives will be telling us about their most coveted piece of vinyl. Read more. It's a hometown return for photographer Charles Moriarty, who snapped the pre-fame Amy in 2003. Read more. The Hollywood couple, who have been married for 9 years, have revealed that they're separating.